So just give me a little bit more time and I will push those things out to everyone, okay? So why don't we get started? 15 o'clock GMT, New York session. Let's take a look. I'll go over the two positions I'm still in, and then we'll go into market update, okay? So still in Aussie Kiwi, almost to my first target, so I'll see what will happen in this area. I have moved my stop loss to 3-1 profit already. The reason being is when I see price moving up in this more like a corrective structure, more of a ascending channel that we always look for when we're looking for sell, right? So it's fine. Price can just kind of trigger up and continuously and break up. That's one possibility. But for risk management, I just move my stop up now a little bit more. So 3-1 secure. And then give it enough room to move if it's going to move correctively. But I still want to see price hit the top here for the full trade above 5.821. So still in this one. Cat Yen still in this one. Things I got a message about is Cat Yen being corrective. Well, let's just take a look at the higher time frame. Remember, we always talk about, or I always talk about, higher time frame analysis is going to weigh more heavy. So we know that there is a clear double top now and ascending channel structure on the higher time frame, and then on the lower time frame, this parallel ascending channel pushing up, head and shoulder here as I talk about. So a lot of positive confluence, and you see the impulse, correction, and large impulse. So really, this on the higher time frame, it's just a one sharp impulse, right? You can see that this is just one sharp impulse from the higher time frame, and that lower time frame is going to form a correction. And this is why, waiting, be a little bit more patient if you're looking to get in this position, which I'm also looking to get in if I can get a scale in position. So it's about being patient. You understand that higher time frame, we just start dropping, right? So the higher time frame is the beginning of its impulse now, but we understand that it won't make it down all in one move. The lower time frame is likely to form correction, and you just have to understand that lower time frame is going to have potential reversal, right? This is kind of like a descending channel. We're hitting like a previous double bottom. Is this going to push up? Yeah, I'm likely to get pushed up, and I wanted to see if price can push up because that will complete potential this structure here. Looking like it can be a continuation structure. We push up, complete something like this. And then this is still the impulsive phrase, and this is still the corrective phrase on the lower time frame. And higher time frame, impulse, correction, impulse. And then we're out of that higher time frame structure as well. So look about the potential risk reward, right? If you potentially enter a position somewhere in this area, there's just a lot of room to the downside, right? This is just the first target. This is just beginning of this correction. But if we look at this overall higher time frame, we see this overall structure that the price is in. Very possible if we just get strong momentum, we just start pushing down all the way to the low, if not breakout, right? So there's always a possibility of that. And of course, it won't be in one move or one push on the lower time frame, but just understanding the excuse me, higher time frame potential opportunity and the potential risk reward. All right, so that's Cat Yen. Any question, guys? Let me know, and then I will just continue. So, let's continue. Let's start. Why don't we go through? Let's go through the currency first, and I'll jump to a couple other ones. Okay. Any question, guys? Just let me know. Euro Yen, yeah, I'll go over Euro Yen. It's one of my to go over. So just let me go through the currency pair in this order. By the way, guys, hope this gray background or black, gray, dark background is better. I was using the blue one. I think most of you guys were saying the gray one is easier to look or easier to see, I meant. And the candlesticks are a little bit brighter for us to see or for you guys to see. Okay, thank you. So Aussie dollar, let's take a look at Aussie dollar. I mentioned about I wasn't interested in the sell here. I just didn't think there's enough price action on the higher time frame or anything to indicate a short to just continue dropping. So we dropped down here, and then I was just kind of seeing, okay, we dropped down here, and are we going to form a sizable correction like this, or is it just going to be more smaller correction? Instead, we just had this bullish reversal pretty much, right, on the lower time frame. And that's usually what I don't like is when you see an impulse correction impulse, right? You want to see more correction to continue going, continue the trend or continue the momentum. But instead, we just see a reversal impulse, and it looks like this is like a continuation, right? And that's why I don't really like what I'm seeing here. Preferably, if price can just be like forming a larger correction, something like this, that would be good. That would be nice to get me more into this. But looking at this right now, I won't be looking to touch it because there's no really any setup in my opinion. You can justify a buy here, but it's pretty limited, and who knows that what the price will do. It looks like it's consolidating here. I don't see much bullish activity here anymore. It's like we push up and then kind of have a reversal, and this looks like it could be like a right shoulder of a head and shoulder, and then we just correct down afterwards. Okay, so there's no point to jump into anything right now, guys. It's all about just being more patient to just wait. Not much here, right? Don't get stuck into these trades. Like it's all probability. Sometimes these trades will work out and you take off, but most of the time, the risk reward or the trade just kind of consolidate a little bit longer. And you just can kind of get break even or tag out, right? You save your capital for more higher probability or the better setups out there. All right, so I just think there's need to be a little bit more development here before we just continue down afterwards. So amazing, you're dripping an ebook. Yeah, help you so much with your journey. Hey, no problem. That's what I want to do all the time. So feel free to continue support me, support us, and yeah, we'll continue to grow. Right? You like this color? Good. Yeah. Hopefully, it's better to see. I think the general everyone was telling me is the gray or darker one is easier to see, right? And pairing with lighter candle, hopefully that's better. So Kiwi Dollar, same idea here, guys. Remember I talked about in the weekly outlook. Wasn't looking for any sell while it's in this area, and I wasn't interested in this sell either. Yes, this works out in this time, but a lot of times when we see these sells in the past, it hit the bottom and then just bounce back, right? And when it break out like here, did for those who enter, did you either take a break even because price went up all the way back already, or you secure some profit, right? So these kind of move, like we might get in, we might not get in, and if we get in, how much profit could we have get? Who knows, right? So um, this is why waiting for confirmation is key because we break out, right? And then was there any lower time frame correction? I don't think there's any lower time frame correction here. This is just we pushed down here and then we had a reversal impulse. Same thing with Aussie dollar here. And then nothing happened here. It looks like it's forming something like this, right? That's kind of how I'm seeing this. This is a bullish continuation, just kind of going back up. Okay, so to me, I'll just kind of be like, what? Let's see a little bit more development here, right? Breaking the trend line, as I always talk about, doesn't really mean anything, right? It's all about like what the price is doing in this given area. Is this going to form some bigger consolidation, or this is just a strong pullback? So you break out, you pull back, and then you start continue. That's also a possibility as well. Okay, it's just that this pullback is very strong, and to enter a sell from here, in my opinion, just based on some candlesticks formation or retest, I think I personally want a little bit more confirmation in that. I want some price action, correction, or continuation that's going to give me a little bit more clue. Okay, so don't worry about, if you didn't get in the sell or whatever. There's so much room to the downside, and this is the same as cat yen I just went over. Is that you have so much room to the downside, so don't worry about if you're missing possible entries here if in your strategy or whatever. Just think about the potential that you can get, right? Let it drop. If it's going to form more correction, then you can still secure much more profit, right? So don't get trapped into this FOMO thinking where you think, or if you don't get in here now, you're never getting into this trade, and then you're getting kind of enter here at a bad position or a bad entry, and then a small stop loss, and you get tagged out, or you got stop loss here, and then you just see price continue going down, and that just creates so much more negative emotion. And that's why trading is so hard for people, is that they can't grasp the concept where you're going to miss trades or entries. You're not going to secure the entire run. You're just there to secure part of it, or whatever, most of it. That's how it is. You cannot always get in at the best entry. You cannot always get out at the best exit. It's just all your perception, guys. DXY, yeah. Did I not? Yeah, I kind of skipped DXY by accident. Okay, so DXY here. I talk about, well, I made a post about DXY because of, you know, kind of how I see DXY at the moment. Just looking at this, because this is the higher time frame, we formed this kind of continuation correction. We push down, and then we break the previous low, and then we form this correction, and we just kind of continue going down. And then, like, what is price doing here? Going down to a lower, before we go into the lower time frame, just understand that there's a little bit more room down to the previous low. And then there's a few possible scenario, in my opinion, is that in the long term, next year, or the year after that, can we see dollar continue to get weak, kind of just breaking previous low, and then continuation, and just we start falling more? Or we're gonna see reversal in this area, and then we start going to see strength in dollar? Or if dollar continue to weaken, are we just gonna keep dropping to the all-time low in 2008, when there was the financial crisis during that time as well, right? And then eventually start rebounding, because you can see that previous low point of the dollar, 2008, is tried to bring up, if kind of form a correction, and then we just push up, and eventually going back to its kind of glory days of the dollar. And then again, we're seeing that dollar decline. Same idea here, but you can see that from previous price action, we've seen the same move down, right? This is exactly similar move, right? We had this bearish move followed by a bearish correction, we push down. This is a bearish move followed by a bearish correction, we push down. Uh, Anything can happen in this area, right, guys? It's all about price action. You see that price form really a deep consolidation, a neutral correction, and it become a reversal correction. We just push up afterwards. So anything can happen here. So that's why I'm not to speculate too much. I mentioned about during this period of time, I was looking for a dollar strength or a dollar push, but because we're here in the kind of the middle of nowhere to the previous low, and we're kind of dropping already. So I'm happy to be more on the speculation side of things. I just want to see what will happen on the lower time frame here. I thought this could be a first correction to kind of just reverse up and then form bigger correction or whatever. But this part of the price is a little choppy. Okay. All this small bullish kind of move doesn't mean it's like kind of irrelevant to me personally. Okay. I want to see structure evolve, right? You can see that this was the previous kind of move that I thought this can continue lower. It did break up, but then we're kind of seeing a little bit bullish reversal. So I would say that if we just look at the structure this way, let's just say when we expand to current structure like this can be just like an expanding structure pushing down. How I want to see this? Well, is this all enough bullish for me to confirm that? No, not at all. I want to see either we just continue breakout and then continue upwards, and then that could start confirming a potential reversal, or just forming a bigger structure, but as a continuation for um, the move up once all this correction is over. So impulse correction, right? Instead of a continuation pushing down, it kind of shows you that it's going to be a reversal pushing up and continue forward like this. Okay, so for now, I'm just going to speculate. I'm not too into, uh, trying to guess where the dollar or where the dollar index is going, because it's going to mimic euro dollar a lot. So euro dollar, uh, still in consolidation of this area, and that's why I'm just still very patiently, just I don't need to kind of make a guess on where it's going. I do want to see, I do prefer to see price develop into something that's going to be bearish. I like where the price is doing. Um, in this higher time frame area, we did have this push up from the higher time frame, so this is an impulse correction, and we're pushing up, and then, but this kind of price action that I'm seeing, I don't see too much bullish activity here. Okay, you do see this impulse correction, but we didn't impulse continuation, right? There's really no continuation or bullish price action in my opinion. This is more just very consolidated price action, and if we really look at the latest kind of price, this is all pretty erratic to me, and this as pretty much all the dollar pair when Monday opened, right? So um, I wanted to see a little bit more development, really. I don't see much at the moment. I see this push down. Same thing with Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar. We see price push down, but was there a continuation once we broke out this kind of structure that price was? And no, right? And that's why I mentioned the confirmation, waiting for the development is super key. You save a lot of unnecessary loss here. People may enter some short like this, and then they tag them in and just quickly tag them out, right? So you see price breakouts on trend lines, wait for confirmation from price action. Whatever the correction, doesn't matter. You wouldn't know what kind of correction it will form, but you're waiting for a continuation correction to push the price down. All right, so that's euro dollar. Not seeing much on pound dollar. Okay, it's the same idea. We push down and then we reversal back up, right? Remember I mentioned I was more looking for a sell in this area before the market opens. If it formed a deeper correction, I would be interested. And then Monday open, there was some gapping, and then it just kind of pushed down. But you see, all this price just happened to all the dollars, right? We pushed down, and then no continuation. Instead, a reversal impulse, and now we're kind of forming this kind of continuation flag to continue. So don't need to jump in, guys. Just wait for a little bit more development, right? See how much a lot of people were selling in this area. Maybe they make some money on short term, but on the higher time frame, I just haven't seen this correctional structure finish, right? I just still see this that we're in the correctional phase, and even on the higher time frame correctional phase as well. And really, in all this latest kind of price action prior is really choppy. We did have this kind of ascending channel, double top, was looking pretty good. I think we were talking about this beginning of the week before market opens, and then just really didn't really see the entry. For me personally, I was more waiting for market open, but we dropped down. Likely, I would make it to break even or 1% win if I was in that trade, but tag out anyways, right? So um, I same thing with the dollars. Okay, so not much seeing here. I wouldn't be buying here anyways. Okay, because the higher time frame still look to me as bearish, but still very choppy here. Okay. Yes, dollar CAD was looking more interesting now. So dollar CAD. I think we talk about this in the weekly outlook. I like how we're having this kind of a descending channel. Very like to be a reversal. We push the price up, and then what I didn't like, same thing with the dollars, we have this like reversal impulse down, right? And is this going to be something like this to continue downwards, or we're just going to form a deeper correction and we're still going? That was the two kind of possible scenarios I mentioned in my group. And that's why don't just kind of jump in when price is bullish push up. There's no correction, right? I don't even see this as a correction, to be honest. This is a pretty sharp move down. Okay, and It's not like a correction that correctly moving down. I think there's a two different case here. So how do I manage this? Well, this could be because of this move is so strong on a lower time frame perspective. If this forms a bigger structure here, I would be more interested in something like this. I talk about either a either more like a channel structure or continue going up like this. Okay, that will be more interesting for me to potentially look for a buy. Okay. So dollar Swiss didn't impulse or both break up as strong as dollar CAD, but still still looking that can have a reversal price action. We had this kind of a descending channel pushing the price down, and then on the lower time frame here, there is some strong breakout. Again, no continuation, right? I talk about continuation a lot. So no continuation, we reverse down. What is the price doing here? Well, is this trying to form a structure here that this is a push down and correction going down? That's one possibility. Another possibility that is this is just a potential continuation as well. Okay, we can form a bigger channel here. We break out of this channel and then form another bigger channel and we continue going up. That's another possibility as well. So, but ultimately, I still favor a long if I was to get in dollar Swiss, just because where the price is at. Remember, we have been in this overall kind of consolidation price action. We finally break down. We had a potential continuation. We break the previous low, but we break the previous low very correctively. We push down, but no continuation. Once again, this is more of a reversal correction, reversal corrective price action. So let's just see what will happen here. We want to see that strong impulse and move on the market, right? You can see that when price is moving, it's going to move very fast. That's kind of the tendency of this pair. A lot of times it's just going to be consolidated, and then when it's going to move, it's going to move very fiercely. So the key is kind of just kind of looking for that, looking for the move before it happened, and then kind of have an idea or a management or plan to be able to um, looking for entries in that. So dollar Singapore dollar, very similar price action in dollar. All the dollar pairs we had this descending channel. Overall price is very corrective, pushing price down. Again, we were at the previous low before the COVID, and that's why this one is always on my watch. Is can we get similar bullish kind of price action from before and just massively push the price up, sorry. We have similar tendency kind of the price here, right? This is just a larger descending channel, and then we push up, correction, and we push up again. Not necessarily the price will push up that fiercely because this is all COVID stuff, but certainly can be in the bullish kind of trend, continue upwards in that bullish kind of momentum. So nothing here yet. We had this descending channel. We break up on the lower time frame. Is there anything here? We reverse impulse down like most dollars. That's why, again, waiting to see what the price will do here. I want to just see how big of a correction that we can get here. This can be a potential correction here. We can push down, forming a pennant or a triangle, and then we just push up afterwards. That's one possibility. Any other possibility is just like a potential reversal from the price, right? Because we had this reversal impulse down. And this is why it's a little bit tricky, guys. And I personally don't need to guess, right? I talk about this a few, and I'll say it again. We don't need to have a bias right away if the pair or the market isn't giving you a clear buy or clear sell. You can kind of forecast two different scenarios and see how the market will play. You can see which one is going to give you the better risk reward and give you the better entry, right? Personally, certainly seeing the buy would be a better opportunity rather than some lower time frame sell back to the low, right? This is going to be short-lived, whereas the buy, once it forms, this is clearly a reversal channel. We can likely to see the reversal impulsive phrase of the market. Okay, so that's dollar, Singapore dollar. Any question, guys? Let me know. I'm continue to going on to other pairs. So Aussie Swiss, I talk about. Remember in the weekly outlook, I said I'm not convinced yet this is going to be a continuation for the larger, higher time frame. I just see that this can be that expanding structure that I see over and over again in the market that can be a reversal structure, reversal correction, and we just push the price down afterwards. So looking here on the lower time frame, what I like is we finally see few swing highs and few swing lows, making an expanding structure, and we had this top we pushed down, and then looking like, are we forming a head and shoulder? It looks pretty like we're seeing that here, and that's good because I talk about these head and shoulder patterns. It's always going to be the most effective when you're at the overall top of the overall price action. This is where the price action is at now. This is that double top that we're seeing. Head and shoulder, we already push up massively, and this is where the current price is at. So I like these kind of price condition. I like what I'm seeing here. So how am I going to look for entry or possible capitalize on it? Well, I want to see what price can do if we break this previous low. That's the first thing I want to see. And can we get more lower time frame continuation to go out? I think this can be a first possible entry. And then if price breaks the low here and then form a larger correction to go down, this can be a second entry. Again, there's a lot of room to the downside, so we really don't need to force it or FOMO. Understand that there's just as much risk reward to make here as much here, and this will be even better setup because that confirms this is a reversal structure. We push up, we reverse down, and then a correction here to continue downwards. Right, that's more confluence than entering a position here. Excuse me, guys. And if price continue low and low and break out and then larger correction here, this will be a better position than this because we understand that all this price action is just a reversal price action for all this bullish move. So a bullish impulse, correctional structure, a reversal larger corrective structure, and then we push down afterwards. You see, so after the price continue to develop, you're just getting better and better setup and better confluence to enter the sell. Okay, so this is kind of just how I break down the possibilities of looking for price action, looking for confirmation. Okay, so that's Aussie Swiss here. Aussie Kiwi here. Like I mentioned in the beginning, still in this trade, looking to see what the price will do at this top. I would prefer to see impulsive phrase continue and then larger correction to continue, and I'll certainly looking for a scale in buy here and keeping my original position. Something like potential like this, or even something bigger like this would be ideal, or even something small, right? Of course, correction comes in all forms and size. But like I said in the beginning, I want to see what the price will do here. This looks like the ascending channel to me, and this can just correct it up to my target and then just start dropping afterwards. I certainly don't want to hold through that or just get tagged out for that. So if I see this corrected price action continue to the top, I'll look to take profit around this area. But if I start seeing impulsive move, impulsive phrase, then I will hold the position and looking for scale in and continue to the next upside. All right, so that's Aussie Kiwi, Aussie Yen. I talk about this in the weekly outlook that just because price is at a potential double top doesn't mean it's an automatic sell, right? We want to wait for confirmation. At the time price was forming this kind of ascending channel, I mentioned if we break down from here and form a correction, and that can be a possible sell. And again, it's the same thing at dollar dollar is we break down and there's no continuation to go down. Instead, it's a reversal impulse, right? So sometimes when we look for these kind of reversal, this is something that we have to take care of, is that sometimes if you enter here, the trade will work out, right? And sometimes if you enter here, the trade will not. So when you enter a trade, you need to have a plan, or you need to have a full understanding of that, the risk that you're taking, the trade that you're in there, because you understand sometimes on the probability your trade will work, sometimes it will not. And how do you determine, is it every trade you enter is like this, and how do you manage that, right? So that's something you have to think about, because we can't just look at it and like, okay, I enter here and I hope it take off, right? Hoping or wishing certainly is not going to do anything, right? And then when it doesn't work out, and then you move on to a trade or whatever, and then it starts going down afterwards, you're gonna feel a lot of emotion for that. Okay, so have a plan, have a management, because you're going to miss some trades, but if you follow your plan, you follow your management plan, you know that you follow you stick to your rules, that's going to make you emotionless when it comes to these things, okay? Any question, guys? Let's move on to Swiss yen. So Swiss yen, talk about the weekly outlook. I like how we're in this overall kind of expanding structure, and then we had this few swing top, we had this ascending channel pushing down, and it's just a little bit too corrective to me. Swiss yen tend to be like that, but I don't like this kind of sideways price action. And we want to be impulsive trades, and I always talk about impulsive trades is where we want to be in the condition. We don't want to get trapped in the consolidation phase. And this looks to me as just kind of a sideways price action. I don't really prefer to be in this position when it's moving like that. I think there's better yen pairs that we could capitalize than getting trapped in this kind of area. Doesn't mean that this won't go. This looks like just a sideways price action correction, and we're just going to continue lower after that. But I think there is better ones here, just like Euro Yen. Euro Yen is certainly a looking like better one than Swiss Yen now. Remember, we were talking about that there is a potential double top here, and price is kind of creaking up to it. And I mentioned doesn't have to touch the double top, doesn't have to break it. It's just the area and what the price is doing overall. And it's more and more forming like a expanding structure that we have few swing highs and few swing lows. As this continue to evolve, this is good, because the longer and deeper of this correction, the better it is that we're going to see that reversal coming down from the market. This is more as a neutral correction. Now, before, when it's looking like this can look like it can be a continuation, but as the structure keep evolving, to me, that's more looking like a reversal structure. So how do I capitalize on it? Well, on the lower time frame, here, I want to see the breakout, right? I talk about this in the weekly outlook as well. I'm not interested in the sell here. I'm not interested in the sell here. I want to see price just impulsively break out and then form continuation. This is always going to be my first entry, the valid entry as well. Uh, Again, it's not that these cells won't take off or this cell won't take off. It's understanding that price has trying to break off on this, and there's certainly a lot of lower time frame corrections, but they didn't work out, right? They know that price is still correcting. So again, I don't want to get trapped in the consolidation phrase. I want to be in the impulsive phrase. Okay, that's Euro Yen. Excuse me, guys, 1 second. So let's continue. Kiwi Yen was discussed as well, remember? Kiwi Yen, what I like about it now is we finally see, the bearish kind of momentum in the market. Talk about this many times and like where the price is at, double top here on the higher time frame. We had this ascending channel moving up. It's not as clean as something that I would see normally, but still price is kind of within this kind of area. And if we go down to the lower time frame, it's good that we finally see this kind of expanding neutral correction, and we break out of that correction and looking like we can form something big here, something a correctional structure here. Okay, going down to the lower time frame, well, again, we push out. You could argue this is a continuation correction. I certainly think that is valid in this case now, because we break out the higher time frame and there is that little bit of consolidation and correction. So price push down from here, certainly you should move your stop loss to break even, as I always talk about. So here you kind of bounce back and take out for break even. But how I see this now is, can we form a larger structure here like this? Like that could be one possibility. We form a larger structure here, and then once this is complete, we can see further downside from this point forward to the lows. Okay, but nothing is complete yet, in my opinion. This has to push up, completing this potential few swing highs and few swing lows, and then just push down from that afterwards. Okay, so that's what I want to see. If that doesn't happen, then no trade for me, still in CAD Yen. I didn't go over CAD Yen, but quickly CAD Yen, like I said, like the higher time frame, just looking to see, we already impulse out of this larger structure and this ascending channel. I want to see some sort of continuation correction here. So preferably, I want to see price push up actually. So preferably, if this can be a descending channel on a lower time frame, we push up to this top, completing this structure here, and we push down and be looking for scaling entry or whatever possible entry I can look for. This is what I talk about scaling in my videos, is that I'm not looking for some 5 minute or 15-minute scaling. I'm looking for a larger structure scale and a larger structure, because that's giving me a better confluence to look for a same entry, another entry on the same pair. Okay, this is how I want to manage my risk. Different people scaling differently, but this is how I would prefer to be looking for scaling entries, is a better confirmation kind of on a higher time frame, and then we push down from that. Okay, so that's CAD Yen. So Euro Yen, very similar like Aussie Swiss. I mentioned on a weekly outlook, just like this could be a double bottom, or on a higher time frame, this can be that continuation. And if Aussie Swiss is seeing this as an expanding structure reversal, Euro Aussie can be certainly the same. We had this impulse down, and then potentially a reversal structure, a reversal expanding structure that I talk about. So correction here, looking like a reversal correction. We're pushing out now. Can we just continue upwards more and more and more? We'll see how that look. Euro Kiwi looks like it's breaking out, and we could be forming correction here. That's good. We had this impulse, larger kind of a channel flag correction, and then lower time frame looks like we had this breakout. See this, we had this push down, but can we push down once more to form a structure to take off? Can this can be a larger kind of continuation to go? Again, when we break out here and then there's no continuation to continue, there's no breakout from this top, and we kind of just drop down. And that's why I will be a little bit cautious to be looking for entry here, right? Because this is looking like a mini reason double top. This can be some sort of ascending nature structure, and we just kind of push down afterwards. Okay, so again, talking about the risk reward and the potential, right? You don't need to try to jump into here. If we look at the higher time frame, there's so much room back to the upside, right? We look at the structure. We're at the bottom of the previous bottom. we could potentially see the reversal continuation. We just need a little bit of time to develop, right? We see the previous move very strong, very aggressively, but it formed a larger correction, right? So, but after the larger correction ends, the price still moved down, right? So it's about patience here, right? It's about patiently waiting for something here, or if it push up, just forming a larger correction. This still can be a possible entry. The next, really, the reason top is all the way up here, right? There's a lot of room here. Okay. Kiwi Cat I want to go over because someone asked me for an update. Um, the what I don't really like is kind of this reason kind of price action. We know I was looking for a continuation here. I take a loss here. I was still looking for some sort of development here for a possible sell. All this consolidated price action I really don't like. Okay, I can see this was looking like a continuation correction to correct this move, but this latest kind of price action is very choppy. It's very swingy. Okay, I can't even really visualize anything here. So I don't see anything at the moment. Of course, from what I see from the higher time frame, I would still prefer some sort of a sell, but this can just kind of move up and just hit maybe a double top here and then still move down afterwards. Or this can just drag on for a longer while. And that's why I'm not going to kind of touch it for a little bit until I see a little bit more clear direction of the price action. Can't wait to read your ebook, mate. Thanks. Thank you. I will sort everything out today. Okay, I apologize. It's taking long, but just I have to add everyone in physically and then sort things out finally. So give me a day. I'll complete all that. All right. Thank you. So last one, Kiwi Swiss. Kiwi Swiss very similar like Euro Kiwi. Um, we had this double top area on the price. And then we're also in this kind of a ascending or larger parallel kind of channel structure. We have this few swing highs already, and this looks like a potential head and shoulder here as well. We have this right shoulder or a channel or a flag, whatever it is a continuation correction for this move, and we could likely to see more bearish move from this point forward. So how I see this, again, we push out and then no continuation. You can argue this is continuation, but again, there's no continuation out of this correction. So to me, that's nothing. There's just no entry at this point. We kind of re-impulse up and push down. Again, not much is happening here. I preferably can see a push up to here and then forming a structure like this. So separation from this structure here, we form a larger structure here, and then in this area, and then we still push down afterwards. That's one possibility. But other than that, I don't see too much. I don't want to, again, jump into anything like this. Overall, I still see the downside very possible, very potential as well. So no need to rush, right? I talk about this. I know I repeat this a lot, but that's really the fact is you don't need to jump into these trades where there's still more room to the downside. You're just trying to capitalize some of that move, okay? It's the same thing as if you were looking for entry here, this was certainly a sell entry. You push down and then deeper correction happen, you're likely to get break even anyways. And then once this correction over, once we see more bearish price action, we just kind of continue all the way down. That's also a possibility. And that's why we have to be patient looking for additional setup. Don't get discouraged if the first sell doesn't work out and then you kind of just don't look at this pair anymore, and then a few days later pair just drop down to your target. Okay, so control our emotion, have a neutral perspective on the market is going to help you in the long run. So this is all the currency one I'm looking at, guys. Any question, let me know. If not, I'm going to continue to other things. Sorry, my throat hurt a bit. That's why I'm just kind of coughing. But nah, everything is fine, by the way. Okay, I'm just in the morning. My throat hurts a little bit. That's all. So let's continue. Let's continue to a few other things. Commodities, natural gas update. Yeah. So talk about this from here. I mentioned that if price completes this kind of a channel structure, likely we can see a continuation from the market. So pretty much a price did exactly that. We pushed down, completing this structure here, and then we had a push up here, and I was looking at a possible entry here. Okay, I didn't end up executing it. My plan at the time was I made a decision that I want to see the breakout here and then the continuation once we break out. So I'll be looking for this one if the price formed to that. But this could be a first possible entry. Just decided not to enter this one, and we'll see what happens. I like the overall price. We can just continue up more and more and more. I like that we're in this larger continuation structure. We're potentially pushing out. The confirmation for the lower time frame correction would be very ideal. Very similar like the previous price action, right? We had the impulsive phrase, corrective phrase, impulsive phrase, corrective phrase, looking for the next impulsive phrase. What's your top three currency? Um, Certainly CAD Yen. CAD Yen certainly is the one that I'm looking at for a continuation. I think this is just very clean price action from multi-time frame analysis. We had this ascending channel, we pushed down, and then just looking for a continuation here because the down move is likely to happen. It's just that this correction needs to form because we moved down pretty much a lot already from the price. So in order for price to continue, is really looking for a continuation in this area here. Okay, so just give it a little bit more time for this one to develop. I think this will be very nice to enter. So that's the first one. Not much at the moment, to be honest. You see there's not much yellow or red because all the ones I flag in green is just kind of secondary watch list and need a little bit more development. I'm not really seeing much. I could say that Aussie Kiwi I mentioned is if we can just see the bullish push up in the next day or so and then continuation, then this will be definitely a trade that I will want to enter. Okay, but for now, I'm not really seeing anything like this. It's just pretty consolidated price action. I'm happy to hold through that to see if I can reach my initial target. Other than that, really not much pair that I'm looking at, to be honest. I just want a little bit more development from most. Euro yen, like I said, if we can break out here and then correction to go down, I would be interested. And all the Aussie and Kiwi pair is in that kind of expanding structure that I will just wait to see further development from the price. Okay, so not much is on my main watch list to go. I do want to point out sugar is on my watch. Sugar is certainly on my watch for a buy. We see the overall price action. We have been in this kind of bullish kind of recovery since the COVID drop. We had this COVID drop, and then price has just been in a strong kind of bullish reversal trend. Right? You see all this impulse corrections and impulse, larger correction, impulse, correction, larger impulse, potentially larger correction for the next impulse. Right? Very straightforward here, guys. The price action cannot get any simpler than this, in my opinion. Okay, it's just very textbook to me to be looking for continuation in this spot here. We have seen price sugar, especially these commodity, tends to move very, very, very in this kind of portion. Okay, and the longer the impulse is and the deeper the correction is, we're likely to see the next impulse, next correction, next impulse, next correction. And if this is a strong impulse to break above previous high, certainly we're going to be holding the positions and then continue to see more impulsive phrase in the market. Okay. Let's look at silver and gold really quick. This, I was looking at this. I didn't get in this at all, but I was looking at this before I sleep. Remember I talked about silver for a couple weeks about when price is in this area. I want to see price push up to the previous top. That will have a completion of the potential of this structure, and then looking for lower time frame reversals, right? And this pretty much happened. It's very similar than the previous kind of price action, right? We push down and then there's a correction. This is just a smaller version of it, but it's the same price action. We pushed down and then we had this potential correction here, and then we pushed down again. You can argue this is a correction. I was looking for a sell here. Like I said, I didn't get in this anything, but I do think the price looks nice, and that's kind of how I was forecasted in the time. Just didn't end up executing it. Okay. I guess I didn't really like this kind of strong push down, and then these kind of candles or this kind of impulsive phrase, um, looking like it could just reverse just as fast. And then I was kind of seeing what will happen in this area. Um, just didn't get the chance to execute it. And once they missed the potential entry, I was not too interested until I see a little bit more development. I would like to see a stronger, deeper correction like these, right? This was a correction nevertheless, but if we continue to push down and then form a larger correction in the sizable like this, then I would be looking to sell this as well. Okay, so this is on my watch. This can happen in the next day or so, so I will keep an eye on this. So you can count this as a currency pair if you're asking about the top three. I do like this price action because overall price condition that we're in this larger parallel channel. We already had an impulsive phrase. This is a larger correction. We could potentially see the continuation of it. So last one I want to go over is gold. Gold kind of slightly different. My bias on this slightly different than silver, but of course nothing is for set yet. If we just zoom out here on the higher time frame, um, to me, as this continue to correct, this can move down one more time or whatever, but as this continue to correct, the more likely to me that this is a continuation now. We look at overall higher time frame that we have been moving up massively. Okay, this was pretty much the previous low point of previous consolidation. This was the previous reversal. So if we really just look at the higher time frame here, we haven't had a sizable correction like this for a while, right? We have small corrections. We have, these are still big correction on the daily, but this is clearly a larger structure here compared to the previous ones I just pointed out here. But looking at all these previous correction, we see all the continuation, right? We see all the continuation from the price. So it's not hard to see that if this is a continuation structure, once it completes and we get bullish reversal from the bottom and then becomes an impulsive phrase, we could certainly see the gold coming back to the previous top, if not breaking up, right? We see the similar price action over and over again in the market, right? Nothing changes here in the price action here. And the larger, the deeper of this correction to go, to me, is just going to give us a larger, higher probability that we're going to see the continuation. Okay, so that's what I see on the higher time frame. Okay, not that it's going to take off now. On the lower time frame, this to me is a little bit bearish, right? We pushed up from the market, but we couldn't break out the structure. And lower time frame wise, very similar like silver, right? This looks like a head and shoulder to me. We push up, left shoulder, head, push down, so a reversal impulse on the lower time frame, and then a right shoulder potentially pushing down the price. Okay, so that's kind of what I see on gold right now. But to me, I won't justify this trade to me personally. I'd rather see this kind of push down here and then form a larger right shoulder here on the lower time frame for the sell. I think this will be a better sell than a small correction here. I don't see this move to just continue all the way down to the bottom. What I do see is this scenario here more likely because you've been seeing head and shoulder on gold a lot, right? You see all this small head and shoulder, and we're likely to see a head and shoulder here to push down, right? So price action, when we dig deeply, it's really clear to us what the price is doing here, right? But this is clearly a good reversal on the small lower time frame, okay? And you're seeing the same kind of patterns, right? So wait for a larger head and shoulder here, push down. And once the price reach all the way to the bottom, and then potentially reaching for looking for reversal price action, right? Bottom, double bottom here, bottom this channel, and then we start seeing bullish activities, buying at the a very low of this larger higher time structure, and then looking to speed price will be able to bullish breakout to the previous top. Okay, so that's what I see on gold, guys. Let's go take a look at a few indices. I know you guys are interested in, I think, most of the dollar indices. So let's take a look at the indices. Again, I don't think nothing changes. I'm going to talk about every time when I jump into these indices is nothing really changed. Double top here, prices in this kind of parallel expanding channel. We're seeing the same channel here. Remember, I had the structure drew like this. We push down. Same question over is, when we push down, was there a continuation correction here to continue? There is not, clearly, right? We had this reversal impulse up, and that's why understanding that the structure may not be finished yet, may not be complete, we can just correct this for a while. And I talk about this every time is we wouldn't know be for sure when the correction will be over. All we can do is have an idea when the correction is likely to finish, and we look for confirmation from the market to give us the go or to give us the entry, right? And backtesting and forecasting is so important is that the more you do this, the more you look at previous price action and you see the move happen, and you look at how you were able to capitalize on the sell or on the entry, the next time or the live condition that you're looking at, you'll just be able to execute it without emotions. Okay. So that's what I see on Dow Jones. Let it correct itself here. If it's going to let it break out, let it form a correction to go is going to be the better um, sell and the better risk reward entry. Okay. So that's Dow Jones. S&P 500, same thing, right? We break out here, no correction to continue. Okay, so what's going to happen here? Well, let it just to do its thing. So don't worry about trend line that it breaks through or whatever. Understanding what the overall price is doing. This is all corrective price action. There's no impulsive phrase. It's not like impulsive phrase like this. Okay, this is all corrective price action. So what is it forming here? Is it forming a head and shoulder? This is kind of the only thing I'm seeing right now. We had that double top here on the recent double top, and price is somewhat consolidating here. This could be another double top. So let the price does this thing to continue downwards. Give us a little bit more confluence if we could break out here and then break the previous low and then form a sizable continuation to push down. Okay, understand we're just at the top of the overall price action, right? Price has never been this high before. This was the previous high before the COVID drop. So price has never been traded up in this high before. So the higher it trade, the harder it falls, right? You heard this term before, especially for indices. You see all this corrective price action continue to move up and then just a strong bearish move to take out all that price action, all that price, right? This happened in a week, right? In bearish time, in COVID time, this takes, um, a year, few months to complete. Okay, and that's the difference, guys. So, anyways, like I said, I will be waiting a little bit more development here. Okay, don't need to rush into any of these, right? Again, lots of room to the downside if the market is going to correct, to collapse or crash, right? It's going to give you opportunity to get in. Last one, Nasdaq, ascending channel pushing up, right? And then we push down, no continuation to break out, right? So we're right back to this top again. see what the price will do at this recent top, see if there's going to be any reversal or any kind of bearish sign. Overall, we're still in this structure here. Okay, so don't discount the fact that something can happen here and we can continue lower. Again, there's no bullish price action here. I cannot justify bullish activity or bullish opportunity, unlike other pairs that I went over where I said both scenario is has merit in there, whereas here I cannot justify any bullish movement from right now, and that's why there's no point to jump into anything. Wait for more development here would be more ideal, guys. Okay, so that is all the indices. Any question, guys, let me know. I'm gonna wrap things up with crypto. Give me a second, guys, just answering things here. Great dissection of the indices. Hey, no problem. Thank you. Yeah, so any no question here. I'll just finish up with crypto. I'll go over a few things that I'm looking at crypto. I'll go over the trade I lost first, which is Ripple. I took a loss here on Ripple. Looking back at it again, in my journal, I love this entry. I like how we break out of these descending channel. We had a descending channel. We had a lower time frame push up, and then we had a continuation correction here that entered at the breakout. I would take this setup or entry any time of the day, guys. So there's nothing wrong with this. It just didn't work out at this time. Okay, so that's my entry. That was my entry here. I'll see what happen price will do in this potential double top area, double bottom. Sorry. Want to wait for a little bit more development here on the price. I think there was a question asking me, should I enter? Why would I enter potentially here? My answer in the Telegram group really is when I take a loss here, right away I will control my emotion. I don't want to go into that fear of missing out emotion or revenge trading. I talk about those in my videos. Watch those on TradingView or YouTube. It's about understanding what the price is doing. We price push down here, and then is it justified for entry here? No, because I want to see what the price will do. If this consolidated longer and longer, it's better, and I want to see the breakout followed by a continuation, and that will be my entry right back into this trade. And that's why if that didn't happen, then no trade for me, and I'll observe further, right? There's no need to have FOMO to like trying to jump back into the trade and trying to, because you just took a loss, you want to revenge back your losses. No need to, guys. See what happened is if I was to enter here, this becomes an impulse correction, we just break down and probably take me out for a loss anyways. So that's how you going to these small things that you work on is going to help you to be a better trader, right? Small things, right? Control our emotion. Sometimes you're gonna look at this and then this takes off and you're gonna like, why didn't I enter this? But can I justify something like this? No, personally, because this was a clear entry, and if price start dropping out of this correction here, then this is no longer a continuation correction for the upside, and then this becomes just a reversal price action. We push the price down once more. Okay. So that's why I see on Ripple, still seeing what the price will do in this area, see if it's going to be a double bottom or whatever. I'm still liking what I see here. This overall price is still very impulsive. I like that. This can be just a larger structure. and then we drop down to the low, but you still take off afterwards. Okay. So a few other ones. So Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, I mentioned this a while or a few days ago, is that don't jump in the buy, because in my opinion, when we push up so massively, it's better to be looking for a bigger consolidation, right? Are we getting that yet? To me, not. This is a little bit looking like it's going to be a head and shoulder. I'll be honest with you. Looking like it could be a head and shoulder. We just push down afterwards. I think many of us would agree that price pop to the upside. A lot of people are buying this area, and this is why price is moving like this. It's just trapping a lot of people in here, and then they're just getting stop loss because they have tight stop loss. And all this movement within this area, $2,000 or so, you're not gonna have a $2,000 stop loss. You're just gonna get tagged out in this area, and then price either continue form a deeper correction and just take off afterwards, or it just becomes a bearish move coming down here. Okay, so no need to have FOMO, guys. If Bitcoin is going to take off, it's going to need a larger correction. Even this larger correction, I wasn't even thinking that it will be enough, but it's enough for price to continue, right? But certainly there's nothing here. Certainly you want to wait for a little bit more corrective phrase to form here before the next bullish move, right? This was the impulsive move that if we didn't get it, we didn't get it, right? So educative as always, appreciate that. So let's move on a few other ones. I was looking at Dash. I was looking at the price action, had this potential push up, and at the time, structure was looking pretty nice. We had the pop to the upside. Again, no continuation. We're right back in. So all this is a little bit invalid in my opinion. I just want to see what will happen in this area. I did like this move pushing up, but not so sure about what the current price ambition is. But certainly can see uh, a bullish move on the market nevertheless. Okay, so don't discount this one. It's all about just developing a little bit more, waiting for the price to develop, right? We know crypto tends to be pretty erratic anyways, right? But when it's moving, when it's correcting, or when it's in an impulsive phase, it tends to move, right? So EOS, same thing. We had this impulsive move breaking up. I was looking at structure like this. Can we break out and then continuation? Nothing happened. It's just an expanding structure while we break down and then. So I'm not liking all this price action at the moment, but I still see a potential push up. I liked overall. Most of the crypto had that kind of reversal structure, had the impulsive phrase. It's just that the continuation structure wasn't formed or wasn't complete or didn't get to where how I wanted to see. Litcoin is doing pretty good. We talk about this. There was a possible entry here, and then the second possible entry is this. This is forming a larger structure here. Potentially, we could be looking for a continuation out of this. It's been getting pretty strong. This is one of the crypto that is showing me strong kind of price action. We had an impulsive phrase, larger structure, push up, right? First continuation correction to get in. If this structure completes, if it forms whatever like this, we push up and then another continuation. Certainly getting that would be ideal here as well. Okay. Trump, so similar as the EOS and Dash, the continuation didn't get to where I want. I was looking for kind of a few swing highs and few swing lows, and then potentially continue upwards. This, as it gets more corrective like this, not as interested compared to a few other ones, but still potential, right? Because we see the price overall impulse. We had a falling wedge or descending channel on most of the crypto, and then strong bullish push up, right? Stellar here, good price action. We're just forming this kind of a wedge continuation. We've seen price has been pushing up in this fashion, so don't be surprised that all this corrective price action is really long. But excuse me, the bullish price action always tend to happen after the correction finishes. Okay, so I want to see that happen in the price. I want to see the breakout, confirmation, correction, and we take off from there. Okay, so that is it, guys. That is all the crypto I'm looking at. Any question, guys? Happy to answer a few questions here, guys. If you guys have some questions, I've been talking about a bit beyond for about an hour already. So happy to answer some questions for a bit, and then I will end the stream after. Okay. By the way, if you haven't done this, I mentioned about I'm giving away the ebook, right? So go on my channel, go on my Telegram channel. There's a link, there's a ping link that you can follow. Look for this title. All you need to do is the things here. It takes a minute to complete, and then you will, once I finalize it, you will get the ebook. Okay, that's my giveaway to everyone. So follow me on follow me on Telegram, and you find all the information here. Okay. Um, that is it. That is it. Just to give a shout out to you guys. Just Merry Christmas and Happy New Year for you. So that is my gift to everyone. So can I go over Cat Yen again? Yep. So Cat Yen, talk about this from the higher time frame first. We understand that this is a larger structure that we can potentially when price was in this area. We had this double top here formation, and we go down to the lower time frame. We had this kind of a wedge or expanding kind of structure that was just kind of correcting the price up to that double top. And in this wedge, we have, a clean ascending channel structure putting the price up as well. So kind of structure within structures. And lower time frame, you had this clean head and shoulder, right? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So as clean as you can get from the head and shoulder, okay? And very reversal-like structure very strong reversal probability when we're at the overall top of price action. You hear me say overall price action, meaning that if you zoom out, where has the price been? This is the overall top of the price action when price has been moving all correctively in this area. The reversal structure tends to be stronger, and it's always at the top of the current price action structure and pattern of the market condition. And that's why this trade is a lot of confluence for a potential reversal, for a potential sell. So my entry at the time, if you haven't watched my trade recap video that I explained everything, but I'll explain quickly here. Impulse correction. This is a sizable correction that we're forming. I just look for a breakout entry, put my stop loss above the previous high. This is even usually bigger than the typical stop loss that I would put in these trades. I'm fine with this kind of stop loss. Price push down, push out, correct a little bit. And I mentioned when price was during this time, I want to see price to complete a potential structure here, pushing to the price to the top. And then that did exactly that. We just had another impulsive phrase pushing down the market. So we impulsively break out of the higher time frame kind of expanding channel or expanding structure, and potentially we are going to form a correction here. So let the correction correct itself. I want to see the structure to complete. I want to see this move to the upside, potential swing highs and swing lows, completing a continuation structure here, and then continue the price down to the previous low. If an entry presents itself, I will certainly looking for a scale in entry. Okay, I will move my stop loss to 1% profit minimum or even 1.5, whatever, depending on that entry, and then I will be looking for a scaling entry here to push down to the previous low, and I'll hold the first trade as well to the previous low. Okay, that is to me how I would scale in a trade properly and effectively and with proper risk management. Okay. Trusting hair sounds like a MKP name. Merry Christmas. What do you mean by? Oh, Oh, MK. Okay, okay. Sorry, I didn't see the other guy's name. I was just reading what you're saying. So that's Cayenne. Any other question, guys? Any other question? Mention how to do the giveaway, right? So that's all good. Join me, feel me to join my other channels, right? Join my YouTube channel if you like. This is how I post all my educational content. All my live streams will be updated here. All my breakdown of trading psychology, risk management, and price action. I do several, well, quite a bit of video on them. So feel free to check those out. Okay, feel free to check those out and then ask me questions on those. Okay. Uh, how do you get the book? Very simple. Join my Telegram group right here. There's a main post here that will explain everything. It takes you a minute to do. Okay, very simple. All right, anything else, guys? Anything else that you want to ask me about? Okay. So, yeah, someone messaged me this. Aussie Yen, yeah, okay. Not Aussie Yen, sorry, Aussie Kiwi. Last question. Someone private messaged me this. What do you see price will do on a higher time frame? Okay, so this is higher time frame. We know that price has never been traded this low prior. This is clearly a double bottom, right? A very textbook double bottom. And then we had this super massive bullish impulse. This is just one bullish move on the price action. Okay, this is just like a really small correction before we take off. But this is the overall price bullish phrase. And then we go down to the lower time frame here. Um, all this moving down is just very corrective. Okay, there obviously is lower time frame impulses. Don't get me wrong, but we have all this mini correction and impulses to correct the price all the way down. So on a higher time frame, this looks to me like just a steeper channel, but a correction nevertheless. Okay, and if this is going to be the bullish continuation, meaning that this is one big bullish impulse, bullish continuation correction. We're seeing the next bullish impulse. Then certainly holding a trade or justify more entries here would be valid to push the price all the way to the top. Okay, and that's why I'll see what the price is doing. I'm happy to hold this trade if it's going to form, continuation on the lower time frame to give me confluence to add in, not only scale in an entry and hold this initial position as well. Okay, that is what I would make a decision on. That's my plan to follow if we break previous top and then we continue up higher, 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 and then continuation correction structure. So hold the first trade and then looking for scale in on the second trade. That is what I would do in this case. Okay, so higher time frame gives you a good bias if this is going to continue, and then if we break the previous top, if we zoom out here, there's still more room to go to the previous top. Overall price is just in this period of consolidation. You can see, right? Price hasn't been able to break through high of this. We've been consolidating here since 2013 for all these years. Okay, you understand the condition is that eventually this correction structure or correctional phrase will finish, and we're going to see the next impulsive phrase. And judging by what I'm seeing here, the longer and deeper this thing goes, the likely the reversal is going to take off. Okay, so certainly I wouldn't be able to speculate if this is going to be the move that takes off, or this is going to come up and go down once more and then take off, or go down once more, take off. And this is why we're not 100% sure, right? And that's how it is. But you understand from back testing, you understand that the longer and deeper and the more neutral this correctional phrase goes, the higher the probability that we're going to see the reversal from this kind of price condition. Okay, so that's Aussie Kiwi on higher time frame perspective. Any other question, guys? I think that's good. Been talking about an hour and 20 minutes. Explain all the trades I'm in, and not much, like I said, on the currency, just a few other that needs development. And there is a few one that I like for commodities. I mentioned sugar is one of them, and silver as well if we form the correction I want to see on the lower time frame here. Okay, natural gas, if it form correction here, I would be looking for a possible entry here. And that's it. Not much on crypto and indices. I want to wait for a little bit more development. Okay, everyone. Jojo, exists a perfect entry? I mean, I always enter entry after a candle finish 1 hour, 4 hour. I think what you're trying to say is entering based on a candle finish a good entry. Hope that's what you meant. Certainly to me, candlestick formation is more of an added confluence rather than a go ahead to enter a trade. Hope that makes sense. Is what I mean by that is um, what I mean by that is seeing these low tests and then bullish engulfing is not for me to justify a trade. Sure, this time it works out, but that's not enough confluence for me to justify a buy or sell anything. Because I talk about this is that candlesticks is candlesticks, but when you look at other ways of looking at the market, suddenly all those candlestick entry is no longer there, right? Let me just go through a few other ones, like line or something. Okay, so when you change it to line, you'll never see the you won't see the candlestick anymore. But is the price action still there? Is the impulse still there? Is the correction still there? Everything is still there. It doesn't matter what you change to it, right? And this is why candlestick to me is good as an added confluence if you're looking for an entry. Like for example, um, in this example here, for my entry, if I was entering here, I like the price action, blah, 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 blah. I looking for a breakout from here. And if we go down to like 1 hour, if that's something, the time frame that people usually look at, then potentially you can say that I was looking for a low, there's a low test and then there's a bullish engulfing and then price takeoff, right? So that's a added confluence rather than an entry requirement to enter a trade. Okay, hope that makes sense because I weigh way heavier on um, higher time frame, so multi time frame analysis, price action. What phrase are we in? Are we in the impulsive phrase or are we in the corrected phrase? And price action structure and pattern. What is the price doing? What is it forming here? Are we in the correction phrase or are we in the impulsive phrase? Right? I want to get in when we're in the impulsive phrase. I don't want to get stuck in the consolidation phrase. Right? So for example, here you had a potential bullish engulfing or whatever, but price did not go anywhere because price action, we just push up here and it's just a pushback. There's no correction. Sorry, there's no um, correction on the 1 hour chart. Okay. There's no correction here. Rather, I see just a strong break to the upside and it just retrace back down, right? So that is not enough for me to justify an entry here. Okay, so that is it, guys. That is it. Okay, so if you guys have any other question, message me on Telegram. Like I said, all the instruction is on my Telegram. Just follow this tag post. Do everything I said in here. It takes a minute, and then I will finalize everything. I will give me a day today, guys, to just finalize everything. I will add all you guys into a new ebook discussion group, and then I will be able to give you guys the link. Okay. You take impulse. What I mean is, I want to be in the impulsive phrase when I enter, right? I don't want to enter when price is in the consolidated phrase or potentially in the consolidated period where price is not going anywhere. I don't want to get trapped in this area. I want to be in the impulsive phrase of the market. Okay. Same thing. This is all corrective price action. This is all corrective price action here in this right shoulder. I don't want to get trapped in the right shoulder here. I want to be in the impulsive phrase. I want to enter at the impulsive phrase. Okay. So that's it, guys. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Appreciate you guys' support. I made a video on that. I really appreciate all the ones, everyone who have been with me since the beginning, uh, since the middle, since now. Hope to see you guys continuously in all the community in the group, and really sincerely appreciate all the welcome and feedback from everyone. And then looking forward to continue to do all this in the moving in the future. Okay, so Christmas is coming up this week. I mentioned in my group, liquidity market tends to be slow, so do be careful, or maybe adjust your stop loss or whatever. And then have a good Christmas with your family. Enjoy. Cherish what we have. Right, 2020 has been difficult for everyone. So hopefully, everything will continue to get better starting 2021. I certainly have a good positive uh, mindset to it, and I hope to pass on that to you guys, right? So the more you being positive, the more you being, you know, uh, looking forward to everything, work hard, put in the effort, time, the more it will give back to you. The more the life will give back to you if you put in the time and effort. Okay, that's the key to success. There's no shortcut, right? There is no shortcut to success, right? If you see my video, you'll see my my reason canvas photo. That's what I'm trying to say. Point is, for success, there's a lot of hard work, persistence, sacrifice, failure, criticism, right? Risk, all that. So you gotta been through all that in order to become success, right? That is always the vision or goal that I'm trying to pass to everyone. Really no shortcut in things, okay? Not just in trading, in anything, right? If you're in business, your business is not going to suddenly take off in year one, year two, right? People, small business on average don't make money for like first 5 years, right? And small businesses fail usually first 5 years as well. That's the stats, right? But for those who grind through, who fight through, and hold through their ground, and things will eventually turn around. How long have I been trading? 2021 will be 8 years. 2021, eighth year, yes. Okay, so thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate everyone. So I'll see you guys next time in my next daily outlook. Okay, so be safe, be healthy, and thank you very much, guys. Have a nice day.